So now I'm going to install the water system. Now, how I'm doing the water system, I'm using this big tank. It's a 70 litre tank. I can live off 20 litres for a few days, but we're connecting this up to a shower which will go out the back of the van. This will be gas powered shower. So it'd be better if it's coming from a central tank, it'd be better if we have a bigger tank. Now, we've got two things here. This is the water pump, and this is an accumulator, which is kind of like a balloon, like a stretchy balloon inside this container, which kind of creates the pressure. And when the pressure drops, the pump turns on. So basically, there's nothing too complex with this system. The water tank does take a little bit of setting up. So we've got the fill point, and the way this is designed, it's really quite clever. You can have it lying down if you want. You can have it this way up, and all round from the point where you take the water out, you've got a lot of different options. So it's a very versatile bit of kit. I'm going to have it in this orientation, and I've got the water coming through, so I'm going to have to bring the water through this pipe, which just doesn't bend well. So I've got a few elbow joints which will connect me into this, and some Jubilee clips which will do them up nice and tight. I've got a load of 10mm internal diameter, so if you're searching for it, it's 10mm ID, and it's best to go for food grade. So that's going to go to there, and basically it will go water tank from my fill point into pump, from pump into accumulator, from accumulator to my tap and to my shower. Simple. So the first thing to do is, once you know your orientation of your water tank, is to drill your holes in it, because everything comes sealed up, which means you can have it in any direction. So because I'm having this way up, the recommended hole is here. It's pretty simple, it's in the manual. This piece goes on the inside as a rubber seal, and as you can see, the angle kind of points downwards. So if you happen to install it halfway up, then you put a piece of pipe, and the pipe just sits in the bottom of the tank, so it will get all of your water out. So you've got to probably put this in from the inside, making sure that that point is pointing down, and then you've got a plastic nut. So that's part one. And check out the space with my wood. So I was just taking out this section of wood, didn't quite leave myself enough space. Earlier I thought I was going to have a hole coming out here, but I realised this is probably better. So then my pipe will come around here, back in here. This is all going to be cupboard space anyway, and I've got to have my heater come through here. So this is dead space, so I'm not too worried about that. Just need to work out where we're going to put the pump. I've got pretty good space in this thing. Maybe I'll mount my accumulator here, or something like this. But first I need to drill the other holes, so I can put in the fill pose, and there's a breathing pipe as well, which goes out. So that's the next little job. So I'm going to drill the other holes in the top. So at the top we have the in pipe, and we have the breather pipe, so that when you're filling your tank, the air's got somewhere to go. And this just connects to the thing in the wall. And what we can also have, because there's also one at the bottom, what we can have a pipe which runs out, connects to these two, and we can use it, if it's transparent pipe, we can use it to find out what the level is. So I'm going to put that in as well. Yeah, so now I can install the tank. There's a bunch of washers, and just do them all up. The back ones are going to be a pain, just because of the location, but I'm only going to have to do it once with any luck. Let's put the Jubilee clips on. The way this is going to work, it's going to be pretty tight when it's all done up. It's quite hard to get the pipes on. Really solid. You can see now I've put Jubilee clips on each joint. This should be really pretty watertight. It won't need much more than that. So to attach the pipe, I'm fitting these pipe clips. You can buy in bags of 100, they're really cheap. And I'm just going to run the pipe along this bottom edge of where the bed will sit on. And I'll have a gas pipe which runs back here as well. But the pipe clips, yeah, just put them on and you just clip it in, really easy. I'm running the hose from the longest lengths I need first, so that when I'm doing this fill level pipe, that I don't screw myself over and use up too much pipe. I'm going to run you through what's going on here. So obviously we have the big tank. We have what's coming into the big tank. This is the breathing line. And this, which goes all the way around, I might have to move this pillar depending on the gas stuff when it arrives. But this is going to be my level, and all it does is it goes back and into the bottom of the tank. Pretty easy. And at the bottom of the tank, coming out, go to our pump, which goes to our accumulator, and that goes to either the tap, which will be here, or out the back to the shower. So this pipe here is for the water level, and it just goes in a big loop basically to the tank, and one spur goes off to be like the breathing line. Now I was wondering, the problem with this particular pipe is it's not that transparent. So I was wondering, okay, maybe I can put a little floating ball in it and then you better see the level really easily. But then if the ball goes round and gets stuck in things, really not ideal, or gets into the tank. And then I thought maybe I could just pinch it in one place and then it will stop the ball going out. But I had another idea, and that's to put in a fishing float with a nice coloured end. So this will basically sit in the pipe and go down and up and down, and the little bright end will be very easy to spot. So for my little clever system where I'm going to have two ways to get the waste water, and this is just from my sink, so it's like the worst it is toothpaste, and I'm going to have two ways of getting rid of waste. One is going to be a container, which will be 20 litre container for where I don't want to dump it outside, and I'm going to have this going through the van, and this is basically going to go all the way through the van floor, and I'm going to have a flexible hose going from the bottom of my sink. So this is the little thing at the bottom of a Dometic sink, and this is the flexible waste pipe. So I can choose, I can shove it in here if I want it just to go out under the van when it just doesn't matter, or when you're in places where it does matter, into the 20 litre waste tank. Basically to do this, I've got some 32mm waste pipe, and I'm gonna just silicone up these joints, set it into this shape, and then I have some little brackets. One will go on the ground, and I'll basically put one up where I'm gonna have the attachment, so it'll be supported at both ends, and basically I'm just gonna glue these to the pipe and just glue it all up. Scary time, just testing the water. One of the little joints had like a little burr in the moulding, so I basically cut that off, put some silicone on it, and did the clip up really tight. Hopefully that's basically how that fixed. In between the pump and the pressure and the accumulator, it's got the pressure is after the pump basically, so there's a good chance if it's going to leak in your system it'll be after that, and that's the one I basically fixed up. Finally the water, there are no leaks, and the little measurement float is going up. That's really satisfying. I'm just going to half fill it and do some more tests just to make sure, because a tiny little drip over months is going to wreck your van, so it's really worth watching out for. I hope you enjoyed that video. We work really hard to make these videos, and we really appreciate that you helped us by supporting the content that we make. Don't forget that in the description there are a bunch of links for all the parts which we mentioned in this video, and check them out, and it will just make your life a little bit easier when you're searching for things to use for your van. Best of luck for the rest of your conversion. I can't wait to see you guys on the road.